Guys, welcome back to Before the First Cast. Guys, I hope you had a great week this week. Guys, it's feeling a lot like fall this week. We're back down into the 30s and 40s at night, and the days are getting pretty cool as well. I think today is only going to be around like 60 degrees. So yeah, it's that time of year where we're getting cold. This is where your cold gear comes into effect. But without further ado, let's kind of jump into what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna kind of go over what's going on nationally. We're also gonna go over what's going on, here locally. So we're gonna start nationally. The MLF Team Series started in Oxford, Alabama this week. Jacob Wheeler, Dustin Connell had a great day yesterday. Really, everybody's catching them pretty well at the lake. Bassmaster had an EQ a couple weeks ago on Wheeler Lake. Congratulations to Laker Howell on winning that. Um, Here locally, we got a lot going on here in southwestern Virginia. We have, as you can tell from the title, we have the Big Bass Tour coming up this weekend. We also have the Elite 70, Virginia Elite 70, also going out of Smith Mountain Lake. So if you're thinking about going to Smith Mountain Lake and fishing this weekend, you got a lot of boats that'll be running around. It's going to be a crazy weekend with, just both of those tournament series going on. Um, Most of those boats, I know the Elite 70 is taken out at the state park. Just be mindful of that when you're going to take out or put in at the state park. There's a big tournament going on there. Just be respectful, be patient. There's no need for nonsense to happen at the lake this weekend. Just be courteous to people. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here locally. And I kind of just want to jump in right now and you know, let's just kind of have a talk today. I know you guys love the guests. I hope you guys love Billy Cole's uh, podcast last week. We kind of went into this a little bit last week with Billy, but I kind of want to give you guys my own perspective on what I think may happen. But again, it's my opinion. You know, I could be totally wrong. I just kind of wanted to get on here and just see, if you guys had the same mindset that I did, or you guys think it would go the same way I think it will go. So, what I'm thinking will happen, and the question is, how will the 2025 Big Bass Tour be won on Smith Mountain this weekend? So, I was very curious, and I was kind of looking at what the weather's going to do, what the temperatures are going to be like, because that's going to play a major factor. Um, Especially this time of year. Um, we're just now starting to have those cold nights and those kind of warm up during the day. So what is that going to do? That's going to cause the fish to move uh, and be more active because that water temperature is starting to cool down. Last time I heard, the water temperature went back up a little bit, but I think this weekend it will kind of fluctuate down. Um, so where do I think that they may do some where guys may catch the winning fish? I thought about this really hard, and I really don't. I'm in between two things. I know when when fishing Smith Mountain Lake, someone always catches a big one in the river. But do I think it will be one in the river? I really don't think it'll be one in the river this year, unless someone finds something magical or they're sitting on a fish that's I would say 8 plus that they found just randomly. I think if you're trying to cash a check this year in the big bass, your best bet would be stay in the lower part of the lake. That's your Blackwater, that's your Gills, that's your Witcher, that's your, just in that lower by the dam. I think population wise, you have a lot bigger fish that live there, and I think you have the most stability. Now, granted, a lot of people know that when they come to this lake and fish the big bass, they know that there's big fish in the in the lower end of the lake. So my kind of strategy going in, if I was fishing this and I was fishing all 3 days, I think I would start. Me personally, I would start in the river, check all your feeder creeks up in the river, and then the next day I would venture down south, kind of get samples of what size fish are down there. Um, and then on the third day, I would make my decision on the samples that I've caught in both ends of the lake, and then make my decision to stay somewhere for the full day. Just sit either in the Roanoke River or sit down south in one of the many pockets you can run into and many creeks you can run into. I think the person that wins this will be doing the run and gun effect. They will not be sitting places very, very long um, because the way this tournament's set up, you can really catch a 4 pounder and cash a check. Um, do I? It's hard to tell with this because you're here in the fall. You're here at a really good time where that water's starting to cool down and your fish are starting to move. So let's kind of jump into what kind of tactics I think will play, and that's like how people will catch them. Yes, I do think forward facing sonar will play. Um, it always plays at Smith Mountain Lake. That's not to mean that everybody's going to catch the biggest fish by that, because fish are getting smart. Fish are adapting. We've seen it on Smith Mountain Lake. Fish will nose down on a bait. They feel that transducer pinging. They're going to run off. Um, I think personally, the big fish or the winning fish will come on some sort of top water or a jig. In previous years, that's shown to be true. Whether it's in the spring or the fall, a jig is played and a top water has played. I think a sneaky bait that people don't really think about, because it's kind of subtle and it's not like in your face. I would not be surprised for a crankbait to catch a good one. I mean, I would not be surprised if, let's say, like a um, dragging a worm, shaky head, something small, or something simple. The last bass cast series was one shaky head fishing on a shaky head pattern. Do I think that'll play? Yeah. I mean, I bet you can catch numbers on a shaky head. Um, but I think the main bait that will play, buzz bait in a jig or some sort of whopper plopper. Um, Now where they're gonna catch it, that is really like a. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it out there. It's gonna be caught in the river, in the Roanoke River. I just in the amount of people that fish this tournament and that know this lake, there's not a doubt in my mind that there's going to be a lot of people in that lower part of the lake, and it's going to get beat up. And I also know there's going to be a lot of people up in the river, like way up in the river. But I think their better chance is to catch a fish that is, um, in the Roanoke River. I think the bigger fish like to go up there because the water gets cooler quicker. Um, so just I'd be curious to see where do you guys think will be one? Do you think it'll be one in the lower lake or the up in the river somewhere? So another thing is, do we think a local will win this, or do we think someone out of town is going to win this? I had this thought, you know, pretty much all week when I knew, the Big Bass Tour is going to be here, is that locals. I mean, they have advantages and disadvantages. Locals know like kind of where fish kind of congregate this time of year because they fish a lot. But think about if you're a non-local, you don't really have you know any knowledge of this lake, or you've Googled it or whatnot. You're just gonna go off fishing instinct. You're gonna you're gonna know what time of year what this calls for. You're gonna know what you should be throwing. And who's not to say they go in an area that's not too many people in it or pressured, and they catch the winning fish. That would not surprise me as well. Um, Another question I was pondering is how much is forward facing sonar gonna play? Um, I know there's gonna be some people scoping. I know that. But I personally think, in my opinion, to catch the bigger fish on this lake because it is so pressured, I would just turn the unit off. Or I would turn my forward facing sonar off. Because your chances of catching a bigger fish when you're sneaking up on them and they don't see you or hear you coming is more is a better opportunity. So let's think about this question too, because there's a lot of variables that go into this. Are you going to fish shallow? Are you going to fish deep? I'm sure you can catch fish in all different stages or different depths of water. If it was me personally fishing, I think I don't think I would go any deeper than 10 foot. I don't think unless you catch that magical fish that's just chilling in a brush pile. I think the main majority of your fish that you catch and probably weigh in for money or cash is going to be in that 0 to 10 foot. And I know there's people probably listening to this thinking you're crazy. They're going to be deep. They haven't moved up yet. That's the cool thing about Smith Mountain Lake is bass are always in different transitions there. You can catch a bass at Smith Mountain Lake pretty much doing just about anything. Which that's kind of why I love this lake. I think it's why it makes it a great competition lake, because really you can go do whatever you want and still catch fish. Now, is it one technique going to be more dominant over the other? Probably. But still, you can go out there and have fun, catch them the way you want to catch them, whether you're dirt shallow churning up mud or you're out deep, super deep, throwing a minnow. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I personally think this week in at the Big Bass, it's going to be one in less than 10 feet on a top water or a jig. Um, Now, the big question is, how big do we think the winning fish is going to be? Now, I have I've seen a lot of pictures. I've seen a lot of interviews around how big the fish are in there right now. I don't want to put a number on it, but if I had to put a number on it, I feel like to win the Big Bass Tour, you're going to have an 8 pound or 8.5 pound bass. And maybe, I'll take that back. Maybe a mid range 7 could win it. I know they're there. I know people have caught them in the past. I saw a photo a couple weeks back where a guy caught an 8.9. I mean, they're there. After you, after the Department of Wildlife and Fishery put in the Alabama Alabama strain bass, these fish have gotten really big. My buddy caught it close to a 9 pounder as well a couple years back, or about a year back. I know they're there. I've seen them at my own eyes. I know there's big fish in Smith Mountain. So my challenge to you guys is, I would love to know what you guys think the winning weight's going to be. where it's going to be caught and how it's going to be caught. Do you think they're scoping? Do you think they're just straight up shallow fishing? I personally don't think a scoping fish is going to be the one that's weighed in to win. Um, but guys, I think this is going to be an awesome, awesome tournament. Good luck to everybody who's fishing it this week. Um, Also, stay safe. The weather's supposed to be kind of iffy. It's going to be cold. So bundle up. Always wear your life jackets. Be courteous out there. There's going to be a lot of people on the water. There, you know, just be courteous. Be nice. Be patient. There's no need for you flying and accidentally may hit something or kill somebody. You don't need to do that this week. Um, just go out there, enjoy your time, go fish, and just enjoy the week. Um, but guys, like, subscribe, comment. I hope to have a guest next week. But really, comment and share if you guys think this is going to be a beneficial to anybody fishing the Big Bass Tour this week. Um, but guys, until next week, really appreciate it, and be safe.